Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel Football Therapy with me, your host, Jan. I hope you're doing well. I do hope that. I really do hope that. And welcome back to Chelsea News, the daily, sometimes twice, even thrice a daily series here on Football Therapy, where I reflect on what's being said about Chelsea in the news, the headlines, the publications, of which there's lots popping off at the moment, because Chelsea are in strange and uncertain and dark times. But hopefully there's light at the end of the tunnel. And I smell change on the air. Woo-hoo. If you want to be updated with change on the air? I said in the air? Can change be on the air? I suggest you check out my partner, OneFootball. Because like this channel, Football Therapy, it's totally free. And into this day and age, things cost so much ruddy money that to have good pieces of content, hopefully this channel, and services, OneFootball, there's a QR code, for free, surely you should check it out. OneFootball is a wicked application you can use on all devices as well as the website. Click the link in the top of the description to get notifications on Chelsea and indeed anything in the world of football. In between watching these videos, you just check out on your phone, OneFootball, what's going on and keep updated. Like I said, it's totally free. Click the link in the top of the description and do yourself that favor. My dear sweet friend, I'll leave the QR code there for you to scan at leisure. Lots to talk about today. Goalkeeper, negotiations with Internazionale, a real big, sick feeling in my stomach regarding Arsenal's intentions. And yes, there's so much to get into, as well as a message from Chelsea. Chelsea have spoken, the collective entity known as Chelsea Football Club, or certainly the ownership, not signed off by individuals, but the collective new spirit of the Chelsea custodians. Yeah, there's a little bit I want to read about them as well, so there is a lot to get into. First of all, let's talk about goalkeepers, because Chelsea are, of course, is becoming more and more obvious as the sort of narrative comes out. Chelsea will buy a goalkeeper. In an ideal world, we would sell both our current first-teamers in Kepa Arrizabalaga, if we can, and Edouard Mendy's probably the easiest to get off the books. But Chelsea are looking at probably both Milan keepers, Mike Maignan, Magic Mike of AC Milan, and Internazionale Andre Onana, which I'm going to speak about now, reading on the cult of Calcio. Inter and Chelsea schedule new round of negotiations. Inter and Chelsea will have a summit shortly after the Champions League to discuss a few players. Excuse me, of course, Inter play Manchester City in the Champions League final very, very soon, in a couple of days. Let us all pray for an Italian miracle there. The Blues are keen on Andre Onana, but the Nerazzurri demand a hefty fee to let him go just after one season. Annoyingly, they signed him on a free transfer, and then they're just going to make a lot of money for him. But, you know, don't hate the game, don't hate the player, as it were. Conversely, the City Giants wish to keep a hold of Romelu Lukaku. Of course, he is in form now. Romelu, he's waited to the end of the season, better late than never, to find his feet, and he's playing well for Inter, even if he's not scoring, he's getting a lot of assists again, and he's showing that he's a useful player up front to boost the fortunes of his strike partners. And he absolutely, and this has been, again, multiple reports, he has no interest in returning to Chelsea. Pochettino, you know, he wants to continue his Inter journey. He just doesn't like Chelsea. And we don't like him. According to La Gazzetta dello Sport, La Benemata wants no less than 60 million euro. Too much money for a goalkeeper these day and age, because there is goalkeepers on the market and you can't squeeze people like that right now. It's not like when we sold Courtois and there wasn't anything going on. There are people, you know, Maignan, Onana, David Raya wants to leave Brentford, he's good. The Leeds keeper, Meslier, you know, there are goalkeepers. On the other hand, the Premier League side has a few aces up their sleeve, using bargaining chips that could sway the counterparty. That's true, because also with us, when we put like part exchange, so money and players, you might be like, oh, that's bad for you, but because we need to cull the squad so bad and we need to get the wage bill down, it actually suits us more than perhaps you might think. The Italian club was tracked Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who's obviously been courted by both Milan clubs. Trevor Chalobah, who's been linked to Inter quite recently. And they need reinforcements in those roles. So, per La Publica, Chelsea could even tender Kalidou Koulibaly as a make-weight to convince Inter to sell Andre Onana. I think a lot of people would be happy with this, because left-hand side defenders, we're all feeling, I know he's right-footed, but we're all feeling good about both Levi Colwill and, of course, Benoit Badiashile. So Koulibaly's on massive wages as well. He was part of that mistake summer. You know, the mistake summer when we signed Koulibaly, Cucurella, Aubameyang, and Sterling. I'm still on the fence. I mean, he's on astronomical wages, but I still think Sterling could come good. So if we could, you know, sort out the Koulibaly problem, and he's a good player, by the way, and, you know, they'll know that in Italy, of course. Of course he leaves. He, Dries Mertens, and Lorenzo Insigne all leave, you know, 3 Napoli, like, legends, I suppose, or like, up there. And then they assume the season they all leave, Napoli win the Scudetto, which is just quite funny, really. Yes, but so Italy know all about how good Kalidou Koulibaly is. And he'd be heading back to... we could convince him to sell Onana. He'd head back to Italy on loan, along with Romelu Lukaku, plus a robust monetary fee. Oh, there you go. So the Nerazzurri would register a massive gain since the Cameroonian joined on a free. According to Romano, Fabrizio that is, Chalobah would be happy to join. We've heard conflicting reports here that he'd rather stay at Chelsea and fight for his place, but... should that not be a feasibility, he probably sees this as a really high-profile opportunity for him, and he'll look at the likes of Tammy and Tomori and their success in Italy and think, you know what, YOLO! But he'd be a strong fit for a three-man defence out there. Instead, the future of ex-Napoli ace hinges on the plans of the recently hired Mauricio Pochettino. So this is back to Koulibaly. He could be made available after a so-so campaign. It is so-so, isn't it, Koulibaly? Because he started amazing, scored that goal against Tottenham, looked like, you know, we got this Rudiger upgrade, fell off a cliff, and then came back in when Thiago Silva was absent. And in Thiago Silva's absence, Koulibaly was actually a lot better. A possible hint for the outcome of the conversations between Inter and Chelsea comes from the fact that the former ramped up their chase of Empoli's Guillermo Vicario. What? He would be top of the list if they need a new starting caliber shot stopper. Goalkeeper. There you go. So they've a contingency plan for a new goalkeeper should they sell Andre Onana to Chelsea. Oh yeah, baby. I'll take Onana or Mike Maignan. I do very much hold the position we need a new goalkeeper. 2 more stories today, Kai Havertz and the Chelsea statement. Keep yourself logged. I do want to take this opportunity to thank you for joining me. If you do want to support the content, you can do so by liking the videos that you watch. Millisecond of your time and a flick of a finger to like a video, and you're welcome to subscribe. Should you choose to do so, hit the bell notifications icon, that little bell, because like I said, I upload at least once a day. The news is fleeting or ever-changing, so you want to be the first to watch. Let's talk about Kai Havertz and Arsenal before we talk about this Chelsea statement. So this is coming from a good friend of mine, Alex Goldberg, who hosts the excellent Byline podcast. I saw Cy Phillips aggregating the sports news that Arsenal, who of course want a striker, they do want a striker, they are considering buying Kai Havertz. Now, we've spoken about Kai Havertz leaving Chelsea in recent videos. I really like Kai Havertz, but I would understand completely, and I would sign off on, reluctantly to a degree, but I would sign off on him going to Real Madrid. You know, he's been ultimately he's paid a profound service at Chelsea. He scored some big goals aside from that goal. But that goal in, like, you know, a 2-3 year period is enough for me. And he does work hard, and he has had these little moments, and he's quite a funny dude. I quite like good personalities. So, you know, I'm happy with Kai Havertz. And if he goes to Real Madrid and does well, great. And he'll make us some money. Like we said, we've got on his amortization, the weight left on his deal is £28 million. Chelsea reckon they can sell him for, the reported fee keeps going up and up. It was 52 million and now it's 75 million is the latest. If we make 75 million, so a profit on Kai Havertz, which you'd think, well, he's come to Chelsea and won the Champions League. Of course his money's going to go up, but that's not really the case, is it? He underwhelmed in terms of a productivity, in terms of productivity, largely our fault, I'd say, and maybe the buying clubs recognise that, so they're like, okay. But we bought him to, like, score an assist and cause problems in the final third. Hadn't really done that. Like, in a different way, Timo Werner was helpful and useful to Chelsea when he started, but we bought him to score goals. Like, make no bones about that, mate. And he didn't really score the goals. So there is a very, very talented player in there. He plays very well for Germany. He's one of the first on the team sheet. He plays striker for them often. High-profile player, and he's still young. He's like, how old is Kai? He's like 20, 23? 23. He's very young, man. And he's got his best years off. He's 23, dude. He is 24 in a couple of days, 4 days, 3 days. Anyway, but that's a young player. Do you know what I mean? He's won the Champions League. He's played in the Bundesliga. He's got loads of international caps. I understand why clubs want him. And if he goes to Real Madrid, fine. They make a lot of money. Arsenal. I am not interested in Kai Havertz going to Arsenal. Just as I would not be interested in Mason Mount going to Arsenal. I am not interested in Mason Mount going anywhere in the Premier League. But if you said to me, Mason Mount has to go between one of Manchester United, Liverpool, or Arsenal, I'd begrudgingly choose Manchester United, which is in fact his likely destination, Manchester United, because I don't know, they've been in the trenches for a while as well, and Chelsea hate Liverpool, of course Chelsea hate Arsenal and Tottenham, so it would have to be begrudgingly that. Obviously if Mason Mount could go and join Tuchel and Bayern Munich or go to Real Madrid like I thought Kai was, great, out of sight, out of mind. But Arsenal buying Kai Havertz and, him linking up with all those young attackers and scoring goals would just make us look like knobheads. Because he would score goals. And yes, Fabrizio Romano has been reporting that Chelsea are hoping for a bidding war for Kai Havertz between not just Real Madrid, other teams. And maybe it will be good for us because maybe it will convince Real Madrid to pay the big P's and it will just crank up his price and it'll end up going over there. Great! But I don't want him to go to Arsenal, man. I really don't. Ultimately we're all fans and we have our own personal pride, preferences, and football is a game of theatre and, drama, and this is the kind of stuff you don't want to happen. So watch that space. Again, I am just reflecting on what Cy Phillips has aggregated. This is obviously coming from Alex Goldberg. Alex Goldberg, absolutely has good information. I know he does for a fact. So if he said something on his platform, he will have good reason to have said it. Let me know what you think about that potentiality. Many of you will go, well, Kai doesn't score goals. If Arsenal want to pay loads of money for him, that's up to them. All the better for us for our rebuild. But I don't know, man. It's for me, it's tough. Let me know what you think on that. Comment down below and let's see what Chelsea have been saying. Right, so Chelsea have done a statement on their website, social medias. I'll spare you all of it. Essentially, I'll spare you the main chunk of it. Essentially, they've recognised that we've had a crap season, and they've said it's disappointing, obviously. But they thank the fans for their support, which is, by the way, yes, Chelsea fans have been close to exemplary in terms of supporting what has been beyond a turbulent time, so they deserve a great deal of respect for that. And, rightfully lauding the women's team who have been incredible, and Sam Kerr just being, scoring in 3 finals and winning back-to-back women's football over the years. She's just absolutely incredible. But then after that, they say this, and this is what I wanted to read to you guys, because this is the peering into the future and trying to finally, putting, not just journalists being briefed, telling this is them saying this is what they're playing. For all the challenges of the past year, we are optimistic about the future. Well, it's better than pessimistic, I suppose. We are looking forward to welcoming Maurizio Pochettino as the head coach of the men's first team in July. we are building a modern scouting, talent identification, and recruiting infrastructure within our sporting department, led by Lawrence Stewart and Paul Winstanley, which will help us to identify and transform the squad around elite talent. A squad capable of consistently competing to win. Consistently competing to win the Premier League. Wow. Big balls. Raise domestic cups and compete at the highest level in European football. We have also appointed Chris Jurassic as CEO to drive our business forward off the pitch, which will make us more sustainable and basically make more money. Look, I've said this 100 million times before. I've been calling out for this infrastructure. This is why it's been such a peculiar season for me, because we've been so dismal on the pitch, and football is about football. Lest we forget. But this is the stuff I've been on my knees for as a Chelsea fan, as like an adult Chelsea fan, since I was like, mid-20s, so 10 years. Yes, it might shock you to find out I'm not 21 years old. I know I look it. Hair transplant. Anyway, look. This is the stuff that I've been asking for a long time. They sign up with this. The success we are aiming for is only possible with our supporters behind us. We are proud of the creation of the Fan Advisory Board, yes, which we've spoken about before, which will meet the first time over the summer. We are... Don't sell Mason Mount! Ooh, we've already done that, I'm afraid. Excuse me. And we are confident its new members will ensure you are at the heart of the decision-making at our club. Do we believe that? We will continue to ensure your voices are heard as we look into the future. That's nice. For now, on behalf of the board and everyone at the club, thank you for your outstanding support. We hope you'll have a good summer. Have a lovely time. See you next term. Looking forward to seeing you back at the bridge. Reiterating their desire to build a structure, make more money, and win Premier Leagues. I like it. It's not really like an Arsenal, we just want to mix up with the top of the table, generate those P's from qualifying for the Champions League. No, win the ready Premier League. A lot. Win it a lot. Bowley, Big Balls Bowley himself came out early doors saying it's all about winning. We ain't been doing much of that. They say football's about winning, but we ain't done much. Hold on. Let's think of a better Adele lyric. They say football's about titles, but we ain't done much winning. Best I can do. What do you think, gang? Let me know. Comment, like, subscribe. Give me all your sweet dopamine hits via your interactions on this video. Do check out OneFootball, my sponsor. They keep the lights on. Alright, man. Keep it locked. Turn the bell on because stuff's popping off. And I don't want you to miss it. You're here with me. I'm sweating. It's hot in my studio. See ya.